Documentary script writing is different compared to fiction films, as there's always an element of uncertainty and you can't really plan everything, because there's going to be things that will happen and in a good way or in a bad way they will change the story, and so you'll have to pivot. For this TOR450 documentary, I had to do the same. I planned a sort of skeleton, but I've also left spaces to just see what happens and kind of adjust as I go. In general, this is a story of Luke, who is a father, husband, and firefighter with this passion for ultra running. He wants to do something bigger than himself, push his limits, inspire other people to do so. So he goes on this adventure to run this 450-kilometer ultra trail. And in doing so, obviously there will be some conflicts, and that will evolve over the 6-day course of that race, and then there will be the resolution. So it's a typical arc, but it's how will it be interesting to the viewer to show how he develops as a character and how he can be relatable. And I think the relatability of him stems from the fact that he's a normal person, a father, a husband, a firefighter. He has a full-time job, but he has this passion for ultra running, which has almost taken over his life in a way. And so the struggles won't only be physical and mental, but also in terms of being away from home and kind of sacrificing that time that he could dedicate to his kids or wife. And so showing that struggle, which a lot of people face if they want to do things or they have these kind of passions, and a lot of things get in the way, and it's how you cope with them, and seeing how other people support you doing so. And obviously as a father, he wants to set an example for his children, and so I think the documentary kind of revolves around this sphere. One of the challenges will be the interviews, as most of them will be in Dutch and not in English. So I will be the only filmmaker most times filming the interviews, asking the questions, and so I won't have full control on what is being said. I will be able to ask and repeat certain answers, but typically I would also want the interviewees to phrase the answers in a certain way, which in this case I don't really have much of a say. I just need to trust what they're saying. So that makes me a bit nervous, but at the same time it will open a few doors as well on how I can edit this in the end, definitely with help from someone who knows the language as well. I tried this flashcard method where I wrote the story in a sentence, and then that sentence I split it into 3 and then 6 and 9 sentences, where basically you add different layers to the story to help you develop it further. In doing so, I definitely improved the story, and I had a better idea of what I wanted to include and what I didn't want to include. And in general, there's going to be a lot of interviews in this documentary. Obviously the crew, Jess, Luke's wife, Bono, Luke's friends, and obviously Luke running it. Those will be the 3 main interviews. Then we have the race organizer, so talking about the race, the course. We have Luke's running buddies, so we'll have 2 or 3 different people who have trained with him, or people who are also racing the TOR450. So there's going to be different layers in that, describing Luke, his life, but also kind of sharing the struggles that he might have because they are participating, or they have participated in a similar event. So like everything, the main question for me is, how do I make it appealing to the viewers? I think the main viewer would like to see the TOR450. They are going to click on the video to see kind of what that takes, and so they're interested in the behind the scenes, in the preparation, obviously the race, how it develops. Does Luke manage to finish this race, or does he fail? What are his struggles? And so that I want to talk about that, but I also want to explore the more mundane aspects of his life, to make it relatable to more people. And so that will be the interesting part, to kind of share that part of the story that often doesn't really take notice, because obviously you focus on the race itself. So there is really a lot of ways that this film can develop, and I've left quite a few doors open. So we'll see how it develops, and I'll share the journey as we go.